Welcome to www.happynumbers.org, and today's lesson is dealing with the relationship between percents, fractions, and decimals. All of these three terms are really fractions. Fractions, as we know, are written like this. They have a numerator and a denominator, and there are different types of fractions, improper and mixed number. Decimals are fractions also. This is 12 hundredths, but the denominator is not written. This is 4 and 37 hundredths. Denominator is not written, but it's really a decimal fraction. And percents are fractions also. 10% really means 10 over denominator 100. So all of these are related. So this is going to be just taking a quick look at how we can change easily between percents, fractions, and decimals. So let's put this here. Percent, well, we have percents, fractions, and decimals. So we'll make a line like that. Okay, so 50%. Well, in terms of a fraction, we know 50% is 50 over 100 because we know this means denominator 100. We can cross out these zeros, reduce this to its lowest term. 5 goes into 5 one time, 5 goes into 10 two times. So 50% is really 1/2. It's the same as 1/2. 50% of a dollar is a half a dollar. Now in decimal, 50%, we know you can change any percent to a decimal. Remember, P to D, so we're going this way. We move it 2 places. So 50 hundredths, just like here, 50 hundredths. Of course, we don't reduce decimal fractions. Let's take another one. And by the way, you should memorize this, or you should know this, that 50% is equal to 1/2 in fraction form and 50 hundredths in decimal form. 25%. Well, that's just 25 over 100 because the denominator 100, and if we reduce this to its lowest name, 25 goes into 25 one time, 25 goes into 100 4 times. So 25% is 1/4. And in decimal form, 25 over 100 is 25 hundredths. And you should know that 25% is 1/4. 25% of a dollar is 1/4 of a dollar. That's 1/4. And 25 hundredths. There's another one you should also know. 75%. Well, in decimal form, that's 75 over 100 because of the denominator 100. We reduce that. That'll reduce to 3/4. 25 will go into 75 3 times, and it'll go in 4 times. And 75 hundredths in decimal form, very simple. And this is one you should know. You should know that 75% is equal to 3/4, or 75 hundredths. 75% of a dollar is 3/4, which is 3/4 of a dollar. Now here's one that's a little different. Let's take 12 and 1/2. Okay. Oh, by the way, before we do 12 and 1/2, I neglected to mention this up here. I said 50% is 50 over 100, and we cross out the zeros and reduce, we get 1/2. And 50 over 100 is 50 hundredths. We can take that 0 away. So 50% is really 5/10 in decimal form. 5/10 is equal to 1/2. Well, let's take this. 12 and 1/2 percent. Well, we can change this to its fraction form by multiplying, by dividing, because we put 12 and 1/2 over denominator 100. That's what that means, denominator 100. So we get 12 and 1/2 divided by 100 over 1, or we get, we'll change this to the mixed number. 2 times 12 is 24, and 1 is 25 halves. And since it's division of fractions, we have to turn the problem upside down. Times 1 over 100. We can cancel. 25 goes into 25 once. 25 goes into 100 4 times. And we multiply. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 4 is 8. So 1/8. Sorry to jam it up there. It got a little sloppy at the end. But 12.5% is equal to the fraction 1/8. And in decimal form, it would be 12 1/2 hundredths. But in decimal form, since we know 1/2 is really 5, we can write it this way. So now that's 125 thousandths. But it's exactly the same as 12.5%. Okay, so I'm going to put some problems up for you to do. And you can put the video on hold or pause. And let's see, we'll give you, I'll give it to you in percents. 20%, 40%, and 90%. You change those to fractions and to decimals. Okay, put the video or DVD on pause, work the problems, and then turn it back on again. Okay, let's see how you did. Well, 20% in fraction form is 20 over 100. I can cross out the zeros and then reduce this. 2 goes into 2 1 time. 2 goes into 10 5 times. So 20% of something is 1/5. And in decimal form, 20% would be 20 hundredths, because you remember we're moving from percent to decimal. We go this way, so we move 2 places. And then, of course, we can just take this off. So 20% is the same as 2/10. Excellent. 40%. Well, 40 over 100. We can cross that out, cancel out. 2 goes into that 2 times. 2 goes into that 5 times. 2/5. And 40 hundredths, or 4/10. Now, if 20% was equal to 1/5, we really didn't have to do anything to figure out what 40% is. It would be 2/5. Let's try 90%. Well, 90 over 100, cross it out, equals 9/10. Or, in decimal, 90 hundredths, and we can take that trailing 0 away, 9/10. Well, good. Well, that's the relationship then between percents and fractions and decimals. And it's an important skill to be able to go back and forth between them. You'll see as we start to do the problems and figuring percents of numbers and discounts and things like that, that it's important to be able to change from percents to decimals to, from percents to fractions to decimals, or back and forth. Well, thank you very much for your attention. See you next time.